Today's safety webinar is on safe lifting. This webinar will provide safe lifting techniques, as well as tips on how to plan your lift and move to stay safe. So you may be asking, why take safe lifting training? Back injuries are the #1 workplace safety issue. 20% of all injuries and illnesses in the workplace can be accounted as back injuries, and only colds and flu account for more time off. 31% of all workplace injuries and 43% of the cost claims are back injuries. They create problems for our organization with lost time, productivity impacts, and high insurance costs. Back injuries may maintain the highest risk to you as employees. We want to make sure you stay safe at work. So let's look a little bit about the back anatomy. The S-curve in your back acts as a giant spring to support weight. And when it's pushed out of its springing direction, it can be really dangerous to your back. Discs provide cushion between each vertebrae to create that spring action. And nerves branch out from the spinal cords to create feeling. Ligaments in your back hold the skeletal structure together and hold the very minimal muscles to your back. Very few muscles on your back, and so support comes from your abdomen and your spine. The most common types of injuries are strains from overused or overstretched muscles in your back, sprains from torn ligaments as a result of sudden jerk motions or twisting, and herniated discs from the loss of spine's cushion, which often are caused by overweight or aging and strain. The #1 contributing factors of injury are bending, twisting, pushing, pulling, lifting, slip, trip, or falls, twisting while your spine is holding a heavy load, or heavy physical work on a continuous basis. Some more contributing factors are poor physical condition, or being overweight, a loss of flexibility as you age, or without proper stretching, work habits that may be dangerous to your health, or stressful living. Some techniques to prevent this are just maintaining good physical health by exercising frequently and eating properly, making sure that you're getting to bed on time, and reducing stress in your life overall. Specifically for preventing against back injuries, stretching before exposure, such as pre-shift and pre-task, will reduce the likelihood of an injury. Before moving a box, maybe it would be important to stretch your back and arms. Also, routine strength exercises and physical fitness, which can be covered by our health program, will reduce the likelihood of injury as well. In addition, core communities encourage people to wear proper shoes and mandates that maintenance staff use non-slip shoes. We also mandate that maintenance staff use lifting belts for additional back support. Though lifting belts will not make you stronger, it will certainly help with your technique and prevent back injuries that are caused by using improper technique. In short, we want to focus on the 10,000 times of overextension, twisting, poor posture, and overloading seen at the bottom of this pyramid. This accident triangle shows you the progression from the 10,000 times of overextension, twisting, poor posture, and overloading, all the way up to disability. By preventing these large incidents from occurring at the bottom, we can prevent the more difficult incidences such as sore backs, medical leave, lost time, or disability. We want to reduce these twisting, this overloading, to make sure that nothing else bad happens. So what is overextension? Overextension is reaching out and away from the body, which greatly increases your injury risk. The further weight is from your body, the more force necessary to do the work. Move the load into your body. By moving the load closer, the lifter is easier to do, and you'll be able to lift more weight. Twisting is another improper technique. When we twist our knees, hips, or shoulders, they're not in line and they're not lifting as they were intended to lift. twisting nerves on your vertebrae and disc joints in your back, and unsprings the back. To avoid twisting, make sure you're moving your feet instead of moving your body. Definitely reconfigure your workstation if necessary, so that as to minimize that twisting motion. A further improper technique is overloading, which is lifting more cumulative weight than your body can handle. Obviously, overloading is on an individual basis. For some, 10 pounds may be too much, and for others, 50. Knowing your limits is extremely important when lifting. Overextension also affects overloading. The further away from your body, the greater the forces on your spine and your other muscles. Weight should be maintained close to your waist and level and center between the knees and the shoulders to have the best proper technique. As a general rule, other methods of handling, such as a two-person lift or using a manual material handling aid, could be used for over 50 pounds. As you said before, lifting doesn't have to be dangerous as long as you know the proper techniques. Too much pressure on the back and not enough use of the legs can cause your back to unspring and your body to be used in ways that it was not intended or designed. To break it down, ensure that the load is a safe weight that you feel you can carry. Keep the feet apart and staggered. Squat to lift and lower the weight. Minimize bending at the waist. Keep the back bowed in while bending and not bent over. Get a good grip of the item. Keep the weight close to the body and keep the load centered near the waist. Turn with the feet and not with the body to minimize any twisting motions, and do not twist or jerk suddenly while lifting. To really drive home this point, here's a diagram that shows you where weight can be carried the most. This is between the waist and the shoulder and the knee to the waist, as close to your body as possible. As you can see here, up to 90 and 70 pounds for this man can be carried between the waist to the shoulder and the knee to the waist. As you get further away from the body and further up or further down, you get to the most minimal weight, which is overextension. Make sure that you do not overextend by keeping the weight close to your body. For heavyweight items, it's important to use a tool and to plan accordingly to have a set point and path of travel. It may also help to stretch the beginning before the task so that you do not injure any muscles or back. For higher weight items, you really want to ask yourself, is this a safe lift? Or should I use a lifting equipment or a two-person lift? Make sure if you determine that this is a safe lift without the use of two people or lifting equipment, use your legs and not your back. Get close to it and cradle the load at the center of your body. Have good grip surface and keep load close to the body when you're moving it around. As far as planning for a heavy lift, you want to look at and see if there's a clear path established between your point A, which is the point you lift up the item, and point B, where you're going to clearly set it down. Is the area adjacent and around the area above or clear of obstructions? Is the lighting sufficient? You need to make sure that the path is easy to go through and that you can make it all the way through without any problems. What else will help? You can use a dolly, a conveyor, a hand truck, or a forklift options as needed. Remember, pushing is far easier on your body than pulling and allows more control and greater leverage. Make sure you secure the load to the equipment so sudden stops don't displace the load. Remember, teamwork is one of the most important aspects of this. Identify when and where two-person lifts are needed for a heavy load. When you can't handle it by yourself, make sure you get help from someone else or from a tool. It's important when you're thinking about lifting is to think about what are the best practices that you can do in order to make sure that you do not injure yourself or anyone else. What can be improved on our methods of lifting? What operational controls can be put in place so no one gets injured on the job? Make sure you're reporting issues and make sure you're reaching out and suggesting to us what techniques you think are important to prevent injuries on the job site. In summary, back injuries are the #1 workplace safety issue, resulting in costs to personnel and the organization. Strains, sprains, and herniated discs are the most common injuries and can be prevented with proper techniques when positioning, moving, lifting, and carrying. It helps to maintain good physical health, and stretching exercises and using proper equipment can really diminish workplace back injuries. Use proper techniques to reduce any overloading, overextension, twisting, unsafe lifting, and poor posture. Use specialized lifting techniques and plan when you're moving heavier and higher weight items. Make sure you're checking surroundings, and make sure you use mechanical help if necessary to move these heavy items. Lastly, rely on teamwork to assess your surroundings, to plan your lift, and to identify areas of improvement and additional equipment that will enhance your operations. Thank you so much for listening today. I hope this was helpful to you, and please reach out with any suggestions or concerns you have. Thank you very much. Have a great day.